Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry, managing broker at Remax Elite, and Heather Holiday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week.
Oh no, of course I'm not ready as usual.
I give you like 42 seconds.
I know, but I'm clicking on all 3 pages that we play this on so that I can, monitor activity and chat and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know. Anyway, it's all good. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I click on the video and then click the mute. So I have it ready. And then I click mute. I refresh the screen. It's right there. Click mute.
Well, the problem is when I refresh the screen, it comes up unmuted, and then it takes a minute for the mute button to show up. Like I'm missing one right now, but that's okay. I can still see the chat. So because if I were to click it now, then we'd hear the music again. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Making sure I have my mic close. I forgot I had it so far away last week, so I didn't. It's hard because I sound like me. So it's not until you hear the replay and it's like, oh, oops, my bad. I had my microphone way over, hidden, far away, all that fun stuff. So let us know where you're tuning in from. I really thought this one's almost like a great intro, even going into our business planning and stuff like that. I feel accountability is one of our hardest things to do for ourselves. Good morning, Barbara. As you know, for me, it's the business planning that helps me with that whole accountability part of it. But it's hard, especially when you get into a crazy market like we've been in. It's been absolutely crazy. So that balance is so hard when you're still trying to do what you need to do. And we all know what we need to do.
For sure. And it's like as you're setting the goals and as you're working your business plan and as you're going through your day, how are you holding yourself accountable? And that's a very tough task, I think, if you don't have some outside help or support.
Or I think you have to be very disciplined to follow it if you don't have that accountability partner per se,
right.
And that could be anybody, but for me, it is our business planning book that always, and I have the calendar, which gives me my 3 tasks to do every single month that I try to accomplish. And I put little stars and stuff like that. That being on my desk always, as well as the vision board being right there. It's something that you see every single day. Those try to help me with my accountability, but it is hard. I think a lot of when you're newer, you probably have more time to kind of get things structured and set up. And then as you get busy, you forget what kind of sets you up, right? So
let's talk about like the vision board part first for just a second. When we do our business plan, we do the vision board and we do it on, how you want this year to look, the next 5 years, maybe the next 10 years. But if you have it, like for me, it's there, right? And actually nobody can really see it when they come in my office, but it's over there. I can see it, and I can also follow all my transactions that I currently have going on. So it's a visual that I'm seeing every day that's reminding me, oh, shoot, I was supposed to renovate the bathroom this year, and I haven't done that yet. But I also see, oh, we were going to, really ramp up the podcasts, and I see, oh, we did that, So that helps you with really the big goals.
Right. And for me, it's also like when I look at the vision board, it's the visual of what I'm trying to accomplish this year or setting myself up for the 5 and 10-year goals. But it's also, they're my whys. Why am I doing what I do? And why do I push hard? Why do I have my goals and what I'm supposed to be doing every month? Why are those there? And that's right here is my why. And yes, I'm constantly looking at that bathroom and kitchen that didn't get done. But, I didn't realize when I bought the Jeep, and going to all
How
these
much that was going to take over your life?
how much, going to these events and like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And well, okay. So now I know when I'm doing my vision board, it's going to really, okay, I really need to allocate how much I'm allowed to spend on these modifications so that I can get all this other stuff done. I mean, we're close. We have the vision of what we want to do. But yeah, I think that money ended up, going into some of these other visions, but it is what it is, right?
Right, right, for sure, for
I mean,
sure.
the enjoy the ride, that's been on my 10-year goal. So it's been a long time waiting. I wanted to wait till the kids had their own cars. And since the last time I had to get rid of my Jeep when they only had the 2 doors and can't really fit my dogs. And when there's only 2 back seats and you have 3 kids and you're doing all these sports and, it just wasn't practical. So I
Right,
had to go into the mommy mobile and it was always, so it's been on my goal since then, and that was a 10-year goal. So it's
right. So,
constantly.
so that's the thing. So put your vision board somewhere where you can see it, because in a way, that holds you accountable. You're looking at it every day, reminding yourself of what your goals were, and then you finally get them. You finally get there. Also, and we're getting ready to do our business planning in November, so make sure you register. Um, we keep that book handy. We give you a what do you call a sample schedule? So a sample time blocking. So, and you know what
That's
happens when
almost crazy.
I know when you have a buyer come into town, that's always when it gets me off track. Well, I'll give you two things that get me off track. Buyer comes into town, they're here from wherever, they're here from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and they're here for 3 days, and they are on a mission to buy a house. So your whole time blocking goes out the window because you're spending so much time with them. Same thing with, I had a listing went back active. It was withdrawn temporarily for some family issues. Went back active Friday. I had 9 showings. I had to accompany because it's a very big house, 2 stories. So I was literally there for 5 hours. Then we got 3 offers. So then I was back over there presenting the offers to her. And that took away my Friday, which meant Saturday morning, which was allocated to getting a massage and then going to a baby shower. I had to squeeze in coming back to the office, getting some paperwork together. Sometimes your daily time blocking schedule, it's an ebb and flow, and you have to figure out where to take time from here to make time for that, especially when those types of events happen.
And I think for me, I try to use my power hour in the mornings when nobody else is really awake. So my 6 to 9 before the day really gets started is where I get so much accomplished. And it may mean going to bed a little earlier so that I can wake up, at the wee hours of the morning and make sure I'm in my office by 6 and ready to go and drinking my coffee. And sometimes I even do that on the weekends because everyone's still sleeping. I don't need an alarm. My body just wakes up at 5:30, and I do enjoy coming in even on the weekends because it's where I'm able to focus on the business aspect before, the family wakes up and stuff like that. So
Right. Well, it's funny. Sunday has always, my whole life. I mean, I remember when I was up at college in Gainesville, if I would come home for the weekend, Sunday was always a weird day for me because I like to be back in my environment. Everything's ready to go for Monday. Like, I haven't made a mess. The laundry's done. I'm getting good sleep. That way I start my week off. And I've been that way almost my whole life. It's funny. I remember years ago, my friend and his wife, they always wanted to do, like, let's do family stuff on Sunday. And I would be like, after 4 o'clock, I'm done, because I need to get mentally prepared.
oh, that's fine. And that's, I guess, what I do first thing in the morning. Sundays have always been hard because The Walking Dead comes on late at night, so it's always Monday mornings are always the hardest for me. It's the one night I stay up late because of The Walking Dead,
Right,
which is
right.
so bad, but
So
whatever.
another good way to keep accountable is to have a deal tracker that helps you to stay organized. You know, what's under contract, what's listed, which buyers are you working with but aren't under contract yet. And if that's not working for you, maybe even hire a transaction coordinator that'll free up your time to do other things, and that way someone else is kind of keeping you accountable, making sure things are getting done. Yep.
I mean, and we're always saying you need to delegate some of these tasks so that you can focus on the income producing activities. And
Yeah.
there's some things that, an assistant cannot do. And that may be those handwritten note cards or something like that. But I think we have to figure out a way to be able to delegate some of these tasks. And whether you have a deal tracker, I know some they are super organized with every one of their deals, every single task. It's like a checklist, something like that to help you stay organized, because otherwise, I have like the whole ADHD squirrel brain. So it's like I start on one thing and then maybe I don't want to. I always find myself drawn to the activities I enjoy doing
Of course.
versus maybe the ones I should be doing. So by having that task, I do love my checklist. I kind of have that in my, I like to handwrite it, but I also use Asana, which allows me to still click that check mark and then like this flying unicorn to comes across, or
I've
I don't even.
completed that. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So
I
there's
mean,
there's
so
something about that crossing it off. I swear, usually I end up with 20 more tasks and completing 3, but something like that to keep that helps me stay accountable. I know what I need to be doing every single day, week, month, and it allows that checklist where I can, kind of have it digital. It's available on app. I still have, kind of my notes and my handwritten, but something like that for your deals to know kind of like your timeline to help you stay organized. Cause I feel so many times we're, especially in a crazy market, we're all over the place
yeah.
instead of really having that checklist, something that's going to help you work smarter and not harder, whether it be the transaction coordinator or anything like that.
So Angela is asking if we have recommendations for a good deal tracker. I sent, and I don't know if I sent it to you, so I've only sent it to agents that asked. I sent like a tracker that tracks your business, but it's not necessarily deal specific. So it'll just track what's under contract, what's pending, which buyers are you working with, which listings are you working with. So I'll send that. I was thinking this morning, oh, I need to schedule that to go out again to everybody for this coming year. But I've also found, Angela, which I'm trying to get better at, because we talk about a lot of these things, and it by no means that I'm really good at doing this stuff. So, but within app files, which is the program that we specifically use in at Remax Elite, there you can there's a checklist. I don't know that we call it a checklist. I'll have to look at what it's called. But you click on its tasks, and there's a whole list of tasks. And those tasks you can set up with a deadline. So what you should be doing at the beginning of the transaction, and I keep between Peggy, my assistant, and myself, we keep trying to get better about that. You can set up the tasks, put the sign up, install the electronic lockbox, sign the listing agreement, put it in the MLS, schedule inspections, review the HUD statement. It's under tasks, is what it is, Angela, in app
And I
files.
know Erica, she had done a couple classes because they're ridiculous
Well,
on their
I think
organization.
that's the thing that they had set up. So now I just need to learn how to tweak it, because there's some things that I don't use or aren't important or whatever, and other things that do. But this is what's more detailed throughout, Angela. And it gives you time. It gives you time deadlines. The other thing that Peggy and I always do is we put it on my calendar in like, so all the contracts have a special color. Oh, we're going to get to Bouge in a minute when we talk about using your CRM. So, but but we put it on my calendar when everything's due. So I'll get a pop-up, inspection over with, uh, whatever it is, loan commitment due, appraisal due, CD needs to go out to the buyer. That way you're following along, and then when it pops up on your calendar, and I usually set my calendar to have a day before reminder, so I'm not getting hit with it 5 minutes before we're done.
Yeah, I am curious because I know Boosh has that whole deal tracker. I have not played with it, I guess because we use the app files, which has
Right.
all these tasks that are detailed. And I feel Boosh still has a long way to come when it comes to that deal tracker or just the CRM in general. I mean, I love the newsletters. That part I do love how easy it is to, do the holiday and stuff like that. But I don't really think of it as like a true CRM, but I feel, there's so many, it's just like a website. Like, what do you need in a website? What do you want in a CRM? And does that work for you? Because there is no one size fits all.
For sure. So, and also, Angela, we also have a checklist. Like, I'm trying to get away from paper files. Up until recently, everything was a paper file, even though we had it in app files because I'm a paper person. But we do have a checklist there. So I'll send out that checklist as well, and then play around with app files and look under tasks. And you can find it there. But now, so here's the CRM part. That's another way of keeping track. Maybe not your transactions, but maybe, but keeping track of your sphere of influence and when you're contacting them and who you're contacting. And a CRM is always good with the reminder of if you have a buyer that's on a long term, reminding yourself to contact that buyer to make sure they're still looking or what their timeline is so that you're always there. You certainly set up the automatic emails to go to them, but you also want the personal touch.
So Melissa, what I'm curious.
Cool.
So that's good if you're using, I wasn't sure what program, I can't remember what your office used for, like if you put your documents online, like gosh, there's so many. And now I'm just like drawing a complete blank. I know a lot we're using, like we had used paperless pipeline years ago, but that wasn't really where you can edit docs like we can in app files. There's SkySlope, there's, doc, whatever, brain fart going on. But I am curious. I know some people are using that in Boosh, and I am curious on that. I loved when we used to do the Tom Ferry Sales Power, and he had the deal tracker. So it was almost not necessarily like task driven for each individual deal. It was almost goal driven so that you would see where you're at, how many deals you need to do, what you need to do to reach your goal. It was almost, I felt like it was goal oriented with what we were doing when we used to do the Sales Power.
That's the tracker that I sent out to the office is more that. It's more goal driven. However, you can put the names on there and the properties on there, but then you just mentally need to know what you keep up with. But I do have a checklist that I use, and Barbara said she's going to share hers.
And then as far as like the CRM, if you're looking for just a CRM that's going to help you with your deals as well as, follow up or anything like that. I mean, there's so many like the Follow Up Boss and Realty Juggler. There's so many Realogy. There's tons of different CRMs. The Buffini Rainmaker, is that what it's called? Rainmaker?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really good if you are really focused on the SOI and you're, to make sure that you're sending those note cards and stuff like that. I'm still an Excel spreadsheet, probably don't do what I'm supposed to do. It's just worked. It's been so hard to try to find that CRM, but for me, it wasn't task driven, really focusing on the follow up, the note cards, the emails, stuff like that.
Right.
So I think it really, I know, I believe it was Bomb did the Battle of the CRMs, and this was probably going back 5 years, but it's still, when you Google, it's still there.
It is.
They did a Battle of the CRMs where they had all these different companies come on kind of go over what they have, what they don't have, what the focus is on. And then my favorite is at the very end, they gave all of these platforms like 2 or 3 minutes to really dive into the back end of their system to show us what they have. And you saw the cost comparison. So usually when somebody's asking about a CRM, there's no one size fits all. So I always still direct them to that old
which is a little bit
webinar they
annoying
did.
because it's like it gets old having to have too many different platforms, honestly.
Right. And having something like the follow-up, like having a big platform like the Follow-Up Boss, which will actually integrate into almost everything that you're currently using. So it integrates with BombBomb, it integrates with MailChimp or whatever email you're using. That's super nice to be able to just have it flow in. So if you're doing your monthly newsletter inside of MailChimp, you don't have to go in and, okay, well, what leads did I get? Let me go add them in. It'll automatically sync over. If you're using Boosh, you still have to do that manually because it doesn't have those. It has a couple like your Gmail and Outlook, but I don't. Right now, it still doesn't have those capabilities. So it's a matter of going and copy paste those
Right.
leads that you're getting.
So just real quick, I was just looking at it real quick while we were talking. For Angela, when you're in app files and you pull up a specific transaction, in the middle column, there's a green button that says create a task. If you click that, and then it says task type, and there's a total list of everything. So you could set up all of those tasks at the beginning of the transaction and give them a deadline, and then you will get the reminder when it's time.
Very nice. That's great for the deals and stuff. What are some, let's see. So using a CRM, having a partner.
We didn't talk about having a human being. So yeah.
Yes. So whether it be your spouse, your business partner, another agent in the office, your manager, somebody that maybe you meet with, weekly, biweekly, monthly, just something, and sharing your goals and what you're looking to do, somebody that you can make sure that you have that accountability to kind of keep you on track. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I think we don't utilize that. Like we just try to do it ourselves and stuff like that. But I mean, for me, it's kind of, I have my spouse help me and you help me with the different things. And, I think.
Well, it's like even when you decide, oh, this year I'm going to the gym, it's a lot easier when you've committed to either meeting a personal trainer or meeting a friend at the gym. Although that
didn't work so well for you though.
Doesn't work. No, it doesn't work good for me. The personal trainer part does, but it's funny. It's funny you say that because I was with my gym partner at Kelsey's baby shower on Saturday. And of course I text her to say, I'm running late. And she's like, well, I knew that was going to happen because every time we went to the gym, you'd come like screeching in at the last second. And then I just kind of didn't want to do it anymore, which is awful. Like I wish I could get my brain just gym. I need to go to the gym.
Well,
or
what is it
something.
Tony Robbins always says? Like when it's a want, you'll find like an excuse, but when it's a need, you'll find the time.
Yeah.
Something like I totally got that wrong, but it's along those lines. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always think about that when I am looking at that vision board and, I'll find an excuse, the mods or whatever. So I didn't get this, and this done, but it is something that I need. So I'm going to, allocate and find a way to make that happen. So I feel we do that in our daily lives in the gym. I'm the same way. I mean, the eating part is okay, but it's that I'm like, but if I actually exercised, wow.
Or even with eating, it's funny. I ran into my friend Christy Patchins over the weekend, and she had gone on this great eating plan and had lost a bunch of weight. And I'm like, oh, I need to do that. And she's like, just do it and text me or call me and I'll help you keep on track, which was super awesome. I mean,
that's where that human being and almost that, just think of when we did do the first Tony Robbins UPW, how long we kept those texts up of just like this core group that we kind of went with and just sending little, you got this, or, almost like that accountability, just stuff to really keep us going, keep us motivated and fired up. And I mean, that's always great. And I know you have like a bunch of different masterminds of different groups, and that's basically the same thing to help keep you accountable.
Accountable.
Sure.
We have this one mastermind group. We try to meet every other Friday, but it doesn't always happen. But what's good is when we do meet, it is we met originally for a certain purpose, and we've kind of gotten away from what our purpose is. But what we're doing now is really just talking about what we're going through in the industry right now, and it's a little difficult, and so we're sharing war stories, so to speak, so that you can hopefully help someone else. What do you do when the buyer can't get insurance because we need a roof? What are the ways to solve that? Or, that's another way of keeping up with other agents so that you can find out how they're solving problems, instead of, the constant bashing it is or whatever, like I saw a post over the weekend. Someone was like, I'm so tired of people leaving rude feedback. And I'm thinking, be glad you got some feedback, right? So when we're in the accountability group, we're talking about how, when I'm sitting down with my seller and we're signing a listing agreement and I'm explaining to them about showing time and how it works and why I use it. And I say, right now I'm sitting in your living room and I don't have my phone. I only have it to check my calendar because we're going to schedule photos and when it's going to go live and all that sort of stuff. So I want people to be able to make showing appointments when I'm busy. So I use showing time, which automatically sends the feedback. And then I tell them not everybody's going to do the feedback, but if you tell them up front, the expectation is set. And it's funny because sometimes when you're talking to other agents, they're like, oh, I didn't think to do that. Well, great. So that's a different type of accountability partner, but where we're just talking about the business and what's going on.
No, it's I think setting up those expectations ahead of time is good.
But even maybe you have a great title agent that you work with, and maybe that person is being your accountability partner. Maybe they need accountability in their life, and you guys can share with each other. It doesn't always have to be somebody within your industry. Or I used to have an accountability partner. It didn't last very long because of the time difference, because he was in Portland, Oregon.
That makes it really tough.
Yeah, that was tough. But maybe you just have an agent you click with at a convention and they're in a different, maybe they're in New York or Pennsylvania, and you're using them as your accountability.
And we had done that with a group in an office in Boston. We had done that. So the broker and I, we kind of match make our agents together, and we did like the Google calls together so we could see the face-to-face, and then assigned everybody different agents because we're in different markets. We have different strengths, and we just tried to pull personality, like matchmaking our agents. That was pretty cool. I mean, we had never done anything like that. And we kind of made our prizes or whatever, because, it's all about winning stuff, right?
Always.
So we made that very similar and our point system the same. So everybody was on kind of the same point system on what we were doing together. And that was fun. I mean, it was definitely different. And we certainly didn't have the technology that we do today.
Now it's so easy with Zoom. I mean, everything seems to be hybrid these days. I still like going in person, but after this, I'm jumping on a Zoom thing at the board, to learn about what's going on in the economy here. But to have the option to do it Zoom, or I just find personally, when I do it in person, I'm more focused. When I'm doing it on Zoom, I'm looking at my other computer screen.
Yeah, you tend to do that. I feel I'm good focused, but I like the Zoom versus a phone call.
Right.
So when I'm doing my meetups, I love the Zoom, and to me, it's super convenient. And, we could each share screens and troubleshoot or whatever it is. So the Zoom, I mean, I think it's great because the technology is there, and I don't know, just makes it very good. But so I think that's about it. So what's our weekly agent action plan?
I don't know, because I am clicking on my screen. Fall is the perfect time to walk your neighborhood farm, especially with the weather being so nice. consider taking a leave behind with you, like a door hanger or a flyer or a small token of your visit that'll make your visit memorable and let folks know that you're the neighborhood specialist. And then if they have any questions, you're there to help them with their real estate needs.
And then I thought this was a good one as we're starting, as we kind of enter into our last quarter of the years, to stay positive, work hard, and just make it happen. Look at those goals, look back at that business plan. What do you need to tweak to just make it happen for this month? And then make sure to sign up for our business plan. We're super excited for Elevate 2022. Got some
Right.
new stuff going on. So make sure to sign up for Elevate 22. And that's on the Monday morning wake up call.com.
Sorry.
And that's
I
there.
clicked something. All right.
I don't see it there. So until next week or the week after, next week is Columbus Day, I believe. So
Oh, is that Columbus Day we're off?
yes.
Okay. I know we had talked about trying to figure that out, but
we'll see. So stay tuned. It may be next week. It may be the week after. We'll see. But until then, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. See you guys
bye,
later.
everyone.
Bye.